Oh no, Asmongold confirmed to have girlfriend. Is Foxu going to be evicted from the Roach King's walls? I don't think there's any confirmation that this is his girlfriend. And unironically, I feel like the more likely scenario is hot woman asks him to platform her so she can get more simps. And he says, okay, but only if we have sex. That seems like a more reasonable situation. Hey kids, let's watch this funny looking cartoon Foxwoman. Do not ever let your kids watch me. He cleaned his toilet for her. Sorry, they're dating. I don't know if that's how that works. You should probably just keep your toilet clean anyways, you know? Like, what the fuck? So a hooker. Well, I mean, that's a lot of the Twitch thought streamers, so. Let's finally listen to this clip, shall we?
Okay, this one is like, I honestly, this is so stupid. I'm gonna give this a 1.
Why? I like
because
this
she looks
one.
like she's from Russia. Get her out of here.
What?
Oh, she's doing way too much.
Yeah,
that's way too much.
Why does she have vitiligo? That's interesting.
Yeah, get the bag out of there. That's so dumb.
No,
oh,
that's
wow.
So boring.
Ew.
Wow. Like,
she looks like a fucking trash bag.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. That's a 1. Okay.
Okay,
that's
get ready, get ready.
Okay, give myself a 5. Give me a 5. Give me a 5. Right?
You can't rate yourself.
This person's name is Queso as well.
Rate me a 5.
You can't rate yourself.
Oh my god, I look so bad. Oh no.
Why the fuck does Roblox have a burqa outfit? What the fuck is going on in Roblox?
Wow.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I was thinking of something else.
What? We didn't even make it to the...
Wait. That girl got #1? Why? That was so stupid. She didn't deserve #1. No, she didn't. That was like, who plays this game? We're like 9-year-olds playing this game? They've got to be retarded.
Do you see your luck?
Well, yeah, I know I didn't win. That's fine.
I think one thing I really hate about Roblox is like, how do I say this without getting canceled? Like this Muslim woman in the back, right? She's got round face, so she looks like a woman. Whereas this thing here looks like a transvestite hooker. This thing has a more manly jawline than fucking Clark Kent, dude. And so, like, half the time I see a Roblox woman in one of these things, I'm just like, that's a man, baby.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
And I am Austin Powers now. The Roblox probably is. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I told you to try hard. You didn't try.
I tried as hard as I could.
No, you didn't.
He's hard right now.
Like, I'm doing my best. You want me to do another one, don't you?
Yes.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Was that a movie reference from Kirsche? Maybe? Someone said, couldn't comment pictures on Instagram. Go to look up a solution. Can't use IMAG, ellipses. Google autofills. Can't use images involving children in Hindi. Top result is an Indian YouTube tutorial on how to make 18+ AI animated videos of children. Warns the audience that if the subject has ripped clothes, it will not generate a video. Shows video evidence of him doing it successfully. Genuinely unbelievable. Go type in can't use image and see for yourself. Indians generate so much AI child porn that it autofills in your Google search bar. And there's this, the can't use imag, can't use images that seem to be of children or teens, try something else in, it probably says Hindi. Can't use images that seem to be of children or teenagers, try something else. Can't use images that seem to be of children or teens, try something else. Can't use Grok Imagine, blah, blah, blah. And then he shows you the Indian guy here with like a picture of what looks like probably a baby, like maybe 1 year old at max. And showing the video generation of animate. And then it's blurred here, so we can't, thankfully, see the result, but that's crazy that this is on fucking YouTube. And then here's like a transcript, I guess, from like Hindi, 322. So it was generated okay, and sometimes you have to change the photo. I showed you the photo, you have to change it. Okay, it should be 18+, okay? You can see the image and the photo should be good. 344, there should never be any torn clothing in a video photo. If your clothing is torn in the photo, then even then, it won't be generated, okay? And if the video quality is not good, then the photo won't be generated from it, okay? And even after that, it doesn't happen. And then I had another post here. There are a ton of people, so you can probably just check the quote retweets on this, but there's a ton of people trying this in their Google search. Can't use images that seem to be of children or teenagers. Try something else in Hindi. Try something else in Hindi. Try something else. Try something else. Man, what the fuck is happening on YouTube? What the actual fuck? Google was scrubbing this up. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. You sure it's just a coincidence that Indians are doing this and the Pakistanis are doing what they're doing in the UK? Nothing to do with shared ancestry, you know? Okay, fucking hell. You think the India-occupied Google would hide this? I mean, I guess, maybe. Someone said it was patched because they can't find it. There's another person having it show up with the in Hindi thing. Why would they hide it? This is their culture. You're a bigot for disliking it. You know, if I'm a bigot for disliking making AI child pornography, I guess call me a bigot all day, bro. Here's a top Chinese communist talking about how he conspires with Jewish Americans to screw over and humiliate Americans. We have people at the top. I'm going to throw out something maybe a little bit explosive here. It's just because we have people at the top. At the top of America's core inner circle of power and influence, we have our old friends. And we don't have much time, so I won't go into details here. Oh shit, he's speaking so fast. What the fuck? I'll only tell a little story. Mayor Zhang just told some stories, and it worked very well. So I'll also tell a story. It's a shame that this story, we're doing a live broadcast on the whole internet today, and it is said that 1 million people are watching it. So I have to control how much I can tell. I can't betray others. Let's put it this way. In 2015, before the last visit of General Secretary Xi to the United States, we know that all our systems in the United States needed to work at warming things up, right? So one of our party's systems, the way that systems could help to warm things up in the US, was public opinion. So it was arranged that the first edition of the English version of Xi Jinping's new book Xi Jinping, The Governance of China, would be released in the US before he visited the US. We would hold a book release event to help him build up the momentum. Who should do it? Just like today, they found out. They said to me, Di Dongsheng, you have a way with foreigners and are better at fooling them, right? Because they had seen how I fooled foreigners and they thought it was very good. So they said, you act as the host and guest speaker. So it's very similar to our event today, where I'm both the host and a speaker. So the venue for this event was already decided by the leader. He said it was next week. Next Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Go to the most important politics and... Oh my god, he's so fast. He's so fast. Go to the most important politics and prose bookstore in the United States. On 2650 Connecticut Avenue in Washington, seems like the number, that's a professional bookstore. So we needed to go over there for the book launch, and we need to hurry up to communicate with the store. You asked me to secure that venue on such short notice, and it was tough. It turned out that the bookstore owner was very spoiled. He said, sorry, we cannot host you. Then I said, you tell me which author booked the session. What did I mean by that? There's nothing that dollars can't handle, right? If I can't do it with one stack of dollars, I'll do it with two. Of course, that's my way of handling things. But alas, the bookstore owner was very spoiled and said, I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you which author has booked this time slot. We have our principles. So he was very spoiled. He really put on airs with me. So I asked around and found out that he was a Democrat before. And was once a journalist in Asia. He was very unhappy with our party, so he purposefully chose not to cooperate. Then I thought that we had lost the chance. At least we needed to change the time and place, right? So I turned this issue over to the leaders and let the leadership solve it. I was only a guest to help, right? On Thursday morning, the vice department head of that department was also the real keynote speaker of that day, called me and said, "Little D, let's go on ahead with our original plan." At the same time and place as we planned. After lunch, I rushed to the bookstore only to find that the leadership was there earlier than I. The reason why today we were able to follow our original plan, to execute it smoothly, is because of this outstanding person. Then he introduced an old lady to me. She has a big nose. I could tell that she is Jewish by the first glimpse. She handed me a business card saying, "My name is so-and-so." This sounds so fucking fake, man. I won't betray her name here. She said, "My name is so-and-so. Nice to meet you." Attention, she speaks very fluent Mandarin with Beijing dialect. I was very surprised and I said, "Oh my, you speak Chinese even better than I do." I can never get rid of my Jiangsu accent. Upon hearing that I flattered her, she was very pleased with herself, and she said, "Let me tell you, not only do I speak Chinese, but I also have Chinese citizenship." Do you understand this? Do you have foreign citizenship? If you have foreign citizenship, as a native speaker, you can tell me that this is a pretty close translation. Thank you. Thank you for that. I was going to be a question after I finish this. You can't have Chinese citizenship, right? This old lady wouldn't give up her dual U.S.-Israeli citizenship for Chinese citizenship. Right? So I immediately understood that she was an old friend of us Chinese people. She then said another sentence that impressed me very much. She said, "I not only have Chinese citizenship, but I also have Beijing hukou, registered permanent residence." Hukou? I have a Shihewan, a quadrangle dwelling on Chang'an Street in the Dongzhen district. When you come back to Beijing, come and have tea with me. I don't understand Chinese humor because I don't understand why so many people are laughing. If you need anything this year, don't forget to call me. What did that mean? She could fix anything here. Then I saw the owner of the bookstore, who was very proud of himself before, with an unhappy face. Asking his employees to arrange tables and chairs. He was very reluctant, as he was forced to do this. I said, "How do you fix him? We tried to communicate with him, but failed." He was very spoiled. The old lady smiled wryly and said, "I reasoned with him." Do you know where that sentence comes from? It's a classic line in the famous American mafia movie, The Godfather. That guy cut off the head of a horse and stuffed it into someone's blanket. Of course, the old lady was not in the mafia, but who was she? Kind of a crazy thing to say. Gaota is roughly deal with him. She's basically saying, not only am I an ally, I'm connected. This is like saying she's got a penthouse on Central Park West, except only the top commies are allowed in. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That joke took a turn. This reeks of CCP intelligence information operations is likely a way to distract from the democratic socialists and American communists who are working with China. Yeah, this feels like an interestingly weird misdirection, because, like, once again, I don't trust anything the Chinese say, right? So, like, I don't know how much of this is, like, him just trying to make himself look like a more well-connected, more powerful person than he actually is. It's an old video. It's like 3+ years minimum. Really? This is the first time I'm seeing it. This guy posted it on July 18th. I wish people would say if something was old when they post it on fucking Twitter, because I hate encountering old things people are pretending are new. A black mother in North Carolina intentionally gives herself an allergic reaction in an ER parking lot by eating shellfish while her daughter cries in the back seat, fearing for her mother's life. This is what your taxes pay for. I find it crazy that my mother was also a welfare leech kind of person and also traumatized us as children, but she never purposefully tried to give herself allergic reactions. It's astounding that someone dumber and yet just as malicious as my mother exists.
I don't care. It's hump day.
Why does that mean give yourself an allergic reaction?
And when I finish, I'm gonna lock myself in the hospital and seek treatment.
I can hear the kid crying. What the fuck, dude? I just want to point out, when I was a child, I was probably like 12 or 13 when I ate nachos and discovered I'm allergic to peppers. My throat swelled up and I couldn't breathe and my grandma had to take me to the hospital. And that's when I found out I'm allergic to peppers. I really liked salsa. I did not want to have to go back to the hospital. So before I would eat salsa, I would take Benadryl. I would take some Benadryl and I'd eat maybe like 1 or 2 chips and see what the effect on my throat would be. And then I would slowly eat more and more as the effect would be lesser and lesser, right? Over years, I lost my allergy to peppers. As a like 12, 13-year-old child, I was smarter about wanting to eat something I was allergic to than this grown-ass adult woman with a child crying in her car. That's fucking crazy.
I can't believe my body decided to turn on me after all these years. Eating shellfish, but I just had to have some today. But y'all see, I'm in the right spot.
I have that one meme populating in my brain right now. You know, the one of the like super fat lady on a hospital bed. It's just like, this is what your tax dollars pay for. She eats like a pig. It just sounds like typical mouth-smacking mukbang noises. I hate them, but, you know. That meme lives rent-free in your mind. There's a few other memes that live rent-free in my mind that I can never mention publicly. Tax dollars pay for the food and also her medical bills. It's just like, why would you do this? Why would you not at least take some kind of precaution of, like, I don't know, having an EpiPen on you, taking Benadryl, just doing something if you really wanted to eat something that you're allergic to? Like, I just don't get it, man. And this is what socialized medicine does every time. Yeah, it makes people be a bit more flippant instead of trying to take precautions themselves because they know that they're going to be taken care of regardless by other people's money. Robby Starbuck had a great post, actually. Someone named Homer Pavlos is an actual Greek guy. Said, the most beautiful woman in Greece and the greatest Greek warrior. Never forget the independent critics who told you this is the best movie they've ever seen. Especially the academics and classists who promoted this humiliation of Greek history. And Robby Starbuck saying, but Robbie, 95% of the Odyssey is an incredible film. Why not overlook the 5% of woke stuff? This is literally like, I could think of several tweets I've made with something like this. He says, simple, they thrive on your cowardice. If you overlook the 5%, then they take 5% more next time. And this was exactly what I said about the people trying to defend Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and all of the DEI shit that they kind of wiggled in there. And everyone was like, oh, but it's a side quest. Oh, but it's just this one NPC. Oh, but it's just... That's how they fucking get you. If you accept a little bit of the sloppa, eventually they're going to permeate with even more garbage. Do not let them hide the vegetables, man. Do not eat it. You don't financially reward wokeness, you drain it of life. You make it as punishing and as uncomfortable as you can. It's the only way out of this woke DEI struggle session. This is something I've been saying for a very long time, and he's completely fucking correct. I could have written this post. Maybe I'm his ghostwriter. This is what I've been saying. Like, you need to do your best to not patronize these people that do these DEI things. And the biggest problem with this is that normies don't care. They don't want to think about politics. They don't want to think about the subversion. They just want to consume product and then get excited for next product. And they can't get excited for product if you're telling them, hey, this product is actually going to make shit worse, not just in entertainment, but in our lives in general, if you give these people money. They're going to be like, oh, you're pushing politics where politics isn't wanted, and I just don't want to listen to that. That's the biggest hurdle. I don't know what the Odyssey's final box office will be. Maybe it ends up doing well, but I can guarantee you this. We've taken millions out of their pockets by criticizing it. True. We've made it extremely uncomfortable for the studio and the people surrounding it to market it. People like us have already tanked other films by exposing the wokeness in them. We're making it harder and harder for them to do this, and eventually we will win. No, the choice belongs to each of you. Does he mean now? Will you reward wokeness with your money? I won't. Once again, a very, very good fucking point. The biggest hurdle is understanding the normies are not on your side. That's why I said, like, I know the communist is my enemy. I know he wants to kill me. It's the normie who wants to stick their head in the sand and say, I just want to grill. I don't want to defend my right to grill. I just want to grill. They are the ones that allow the extremists to take over because they refuse to stand up for themselves. And when they get their grill kicked over, they look at you like, why aren't you defending me? You've been fighting this stuff for ages. Come defend me. And it's like, no. We wanted you to stand with us, and you said you refuse. And now that it finally affects you personally, you wanna come and join? That's fucked up, man.
The following program contains cringy. Viewer discretion is advised.
And even worse, they made a rap to promote the Odyssey.
Odysseus,
Athena,
Telemachus,
Calypso, Penelope,
Menelaus,
and Helen of Troy.
Odyssey,
After the Iliad,
Hidden the horse.
won the war.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Odyssey,
Odyssey,
Itching for Ithaca,
get past the Peloponnesian Peninsula.
Odyssey,
Mediterranean,
Psych out of Cyclops.
and crater his cranium.
Circe is
cursing the
Men into bacon bits.
Gotta go,
on the road.
Head to where Hades is.
Odysseus,
Athena,
Telemachus,
Calypso,
Penelope,
Menelaus.
and Helen of
You
Troy.
could be Homer, the way we go over.
The story in 6 feet.
Full of hexameter.
Call it whatever.
So long as it's this beat.
Sirens on
Sirens and suitors on suitors.
And Zilla.
Charybdis.
Don't munch on the moors.
But Helen, Athena, are helpful and generous.
Help me get home.
to defeat that
And Tenuous.
Tell me, oh,
news of that
Hero who's
Traveled so far.
far and so
wide and his
like him,
raveled and
tell me, oh,
news of that
hero who's
Gotta be.
tired as hell.
all because of
The Odyssey.
Odysseus,
The Odyssey.
Telemachus,
Penelope. The Odyssey.
And Tenuous.
the Odyssey.
Odysseus,
Athena.
Telemachus.
Calypso. Penelope. The Odyssey.
That streamer chick in Kai Cenat's streamer thing was way less cringe than this.
I don't think that's right.
It's AC Shadows all over again. Bring back the cringe anime. I'm glad more than just me thought of that, because holy fuck, man. I have no idea why they thought this would be a good idea. It reminds me of like all the cringe songs that came out during COVID.
Imagine no possessions.
I wonder if you can.
No need for greed and hunger. Brotherhood of man.
This is fucking gay and retarded. You wish diarrhea lettuce upon them all. Diarrhea lettuce upon all your houses.
All right, that's it. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Andy Serkis has addressed criticism of the all-white cast in Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, saying the movie won't change its casting just to be politically correct. Serkis said the team isn't interested in casting people just to tick boxes. Instead, they'll choose actors based on what fits the story and Tolkien's world, inspired by medieval Europe and Norse mythology.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Now, I feel like this is a pretty fucking good sign. I've never watched a Lord of the Ring. I don't know when Hunt for Gollum is coming out, but maybe I should do my part and I should watch the Lord of the Rings movies and then watch The Hunt for Gollum. Because when people do this, and especially when they put themselves in direct line of fire of communist fucks by saying, yeah, I'm not going to do your subversive bullshit, you should absolutely support them, because the kind of support that they're going to need is immense, considering they're going to lose quite a lot by trying to be true to their script instead of doing the diversity checkboxes. He literally is a card-carrying socialist. What the fuck? What? You're telling me a card-carrying socialist is eschewing the commie march through the entertainment institution? What the fuck? That doesn't even make any sense!
What a twist!
Why would he say this then? Stephen Colbert is writing for this movie? What? I'm shocked. Serkis made Animal Farm? What? So that means he's just lying here, right? That means he's just lying to try and get people to say what I just did? What the hell? You've not seen Lord of the Rings? I haven't. I couldn't stay awake. Yeah, he's just lying. It's all for the marketing. Man! I'm glad you guys told me he was a filthy fucking commie, though. Jesus Christ. He's pretending? Yeah, that's so fucking disappointing. Is anybody calling him out in the comments? I was gonna see it before, but now we'll see it twice. Would have been hilarious if he had stated that they were surprisingly a very large group of Greek actors. I don't know what that means. Anyone saying his choices are politically incorrect or completely misreading? Honestly, just hope it feels like Middle Earth. Funny because other cultures literally talk about how little culture white people have, but have literal rules in the system to make sure they can be a part of white culture. I'm sold. So it looks like everyone in the comments is just like me and didn't know this guy is a socialist. And there's no wins with Hollywood. I was really excited when I saw this because I was like, holy fuck, you never see people doing this. But that's really fucking disappointing. He played the fuck out of that. Well, he played the fuck out of me because I didn't know he made Animal Farm. I didn't know that was the guy. I also didn't know he was a socialist. Debated. We'll see when the casting is actually finalized. Yeah, or they know it's going to be bad and they want it filled with those pesky white people. I'm wondering, right, if he is the socialist liar that you guys are saying he is, if they are actually going to pull the bait and switch where it's like, surprise, it's an all-white cast, but it's all-white communists pushing the message. The level of subversion the left uses is purely fucking terrifying to you. How to counter this shit? Yep. Stephen Colbert is writing for a different Lord of the Rings project. It's called The Lord of the Rings Shadow of the Past. Why are there so many Lord of the Rings projects going on concurrently? That seems a little, like, nearsighted, does it not? Isn't Animal Farm supposed to be about the dangers of communism? The movie that came out recently basically rewrote it to be communism good, capitalism bad. Amazon got the rights and they're cashing in. That's really sad, man. How will Zendaya star in all of these Lord of the Rings projects at the same time? They're trying to destroy the four olds in the West and everyone's cheering for it. See the Odyssey? Well, with the Odyssey, I've been seeing a handful of tweets, and I guess it's similar to like how I didn't know Andy Serkis's name, so I didn't know he was a socialist, and I didn't know he was the guy that fucked with Animal Farm. But I've seen a handful of tweets on Twitter talking about how, like, oh, there's been a lot of Odyssey debate, you know, I don't think it really matters if you loved it or if you hated it, you know, just because, you know, I didn't have a fun time with it, that doesn't mean I'm gonna root for it to fail. I hope it succeeds, actually, because that'll be good for the theaters. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing to say, right? Because, like, with the Odyssey, the subversion is very fucking obvious. And why would you hope for something that subversive to succeed? It's just like the video game conversation we had the other day when we brought up Kingdom Come Deliverance several times. Even when they're trying to make a game that is decently feeling to play and they still put in subversive stuff, that's going to help them put more in the future, because people will be like, well, it doesn't matter if there's subversive shit. I had fun with it, and that's what matters. And so they're going to go further. And so if you give the Odyssey a pass, that's not only allowing them to do more in the future, but you're saying you're okay with history being completely rewritten and erased. Because the upcoming generations, once again, the modern audience does not exist, they are trying to create it. And part of what communists do is they destroy your history so you have nothing to look back on. The Odyssey, when it is taught to new generations, they're going to be using this flavor of Odyssey, not the original book, not the older movie. They're going to be using this one, and they're going to say that, you know, these old civilizations, they were always multicultural societies. They were always based on the same modern sensibilities that we have. This is the reason the Wayback gets attacked? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ellen Page wasn't pretty before mutilating herself. I mean, I think she was a good-looking tomboy before that, but you know, it's like a child pushing the boundaries of what they can get away with. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be like mean to the people who are just like, oh yeah, you know, I saw it, I didn't care for it, but like, I hope it succeeds. It's like, I don't want to be mean to them, but it's like, you need to understand what's going on, and you need to know, don't support those things, because these are people, it's not going to end at that one Odyssey movie. And it doesn't matter how successful or how much of a flop that it is monetarily right now, that is going to be what the Odyssey is taught as from here on out. As a diehard fan of Greek and Roman history, you'll never forgive anyone involved with the Odyssey, not even the intern that fetched coffee. They should all suffer career failure. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. We do need to be mean to the bug people normies. The sheeple are the reason that the neo-Marxists have made so much progress. I mean, I agree, but like, also you catch more flies with honey, right? If you act like an asshole to the normie who doesn't know any better, then they're probably just going to not listen to you because they're going to think you're like a crazy fucking piece of shit. So when you're explaining to these people, you got to do it in like a nice way, right? Obviously, a lot of people are very fucking exhausted of having to just repeat themselves a million fucking times. But that's just kind of how things are, unfortunately. Internet Zen Master, thank you. Serkis, by what you've seen, actually gives a damn about Lord of the Rings, card-carrying commie or not. As all commies do, they have their vices that they care about. Given Serkis was Gollum in the original Lord of the Rings, he's personally invested in getting this film correct. I don't typically give any leeway to commies. I don't know anything about his background. Obviously, you guys know a lot more about him than I do. So I don't know when he started being a card-carrying fucking socialist. I don't know when he started capitulating to the fucking crazy progressiveness. So I don't really, out of habit, do not give benefit of the doubt to commies. So I would rather believe he's gonna fuck it up, and then if he doesn't, be pleasantly surprised. Why would you trust the dipshit who fucked up Animal Farm? Also that. Andrew and Tristan Tate arrested in Miami over 38 new UK charges. Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested by the U.S. Marshal Service in Miami on July 18th, 2026, after the Crown Prosecution Service authorized 38 new charges against the brothers, following an investigation into a number of sexual offenses. The pair were previously charged following evidence submitted by Bedfordshire police relating to allegations dating back to 2012. Since then, the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire, and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit has continued investigating further offences reported to both Bedfordshire Police and Hertfordshire Constabulary. How come they can catch these two fuckwits, but they can't catch all of the other foreigners who are raping their people?
Good question. You should ask them that when we get there.
I was just like, I mean, it's good, but also like, where are the other arrests? The new charges relate to 4 additional alleged victims, bringing the total number of alleged victims in the case to 7. The offending is alleged to have taken place between July 2010 and August 2017. Following the arrest of Andrew and Tristan Tate overnight in the U.S., our Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas has issued a statement. The brothers were arrested as a part of an ongoing investigation by our Major Crime Unit into a number of sexual offences.
I'm Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas, lead for the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit. In 2024, the CPS authorised 21 charges against Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate following our investigation into allegations of sexual offences dating back to 2012. Following the initial charges being authorised, we have continued to investigate further offences reported to both Bedfordshire Police and Hertfordshire Constabulary. As a result, 38 new charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017. Our officers have worked closely with the CPS and both national and international law enforcement agencies as part of this complex investigation. I can now confirm that officers from the United States have arrested both Andrew and Tristan Tate in relation to this matter, and they are being detained pending ongoing legal proceedings. We understand the interest that this case will generate, but we would urge the public not to speculate and to allow the legal process to be carried out correctly. I want to make it clear that there is no place for male violence against women and girls in our society, and we will continue to work tirelessly to support victims and investigate all reports made to us. Thank you.
I don't know much about the Tate brothers, except they're both kind of scumbaggy. And, like, every time I see a clip of them, they're just spouting, like, some of the worst advice I've ever seen anyone try to give anyone. It's kind of like, maybe the Tate brothers have become so gay that they act like women and they sabotage other men from being able to get real relationships in the same way that women sabotage other women, even if they only know each other tangentially. That's like the only thing I can think of. Where's that energy for the groomer gangs? Yeah, I was gonna say, at the end, I can just roll my eyes because I don't believe anyone in any position of power in Britain when they're just like, we won't allow any violence against women and girls. And it's like, well, all your actions have proven otherwise, so... It's like, just look at this little police officer. Isn't she cute? She looks like she should be on rollerblades at a fast food restaurant. Look at a little cute little tie thing. She doesn't look like a police officer. She doesn't look like someone with authority. You get it? They're saying Muslims don't count as men, so when they do it, it's not male violence. Jesus. She literally looks more like a waitress or a stewardess than a police officer. Yes. She looks like she works at a UK version of a Sonic. I was thinking, fucking Carl's Jr., but yeah. Yeah, you know, basically the same thing. Or maybe Jack in the Box. You're gonna say flight attendant? That also looks. There's literally a huge ass list of Middle Eastern and Indian men arrested for rape and murder, and they were all listed as white. Doesn't surprise me. Andrew Tate, 39, is charged with 7 further counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning? What is occasioning actual bodily harm? And 19 additional charges relating to indecent images of a child and other offenses. Tristan Tate, 38, is charged with 1 count of sexual assault, 2 counts of rape, and 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation. Combined with charges filed previously, the brothers now face 59 charges in total, 42 against Andrew and 17 against Tristan. That's a lot. That's a lot. Following their arrest, the Crown Prosecution Service confirmed it'll be seeking extradition of both brothers to face the original 21 charges, as well as the newly authorized ones. Malcolm McAfee, head of the Special Crime Division at the CPS, said those charging decisions followed receipt of a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire Police and bring the total number of alleged victims in this case to 7. The Crown Prosecution Service reminds everyone that criminal proceedings are active and that these defendants have the right to a fair trial. You know, it'd be kind of funny in like a very dark humor fucked up way is if like in the midst of these like 59 and okay, it's 59 total. In the midst of these 59 charges, if they had been implicated in any of the like grooming gang nonsense that had been going on, how quickly this would all just get swept under the rug. Oh god. Call bullshit. They can't put away all the other obvious offenses but can go out of their way for the Tates. It kind of reminds me of how, like, some people who fancy themselves online pedophile catchers will go after people who aren't actually pedophiles just because they don't like that person, instead of actually going after pedophiles. And so it's like maybe the UK police is doing the real-world version of that, going after people who aren't actually committing sex crimes so they don't have to deal with the people who are actually committing the sex crimes. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know. I don't know what any of the charges are for. And some of them being as far back as 2010 is kind of strange. Their only crime is teaching boys to be assholes. I would say it's not just teaching boys to be assholes, but it's quite literally sabotaging other men to stay in a cycle of depression. Morally reprehensible, but their behavior warrants shunning, not jail. If they've done nothing wrong, then yeah, I would say that, but we won't know until they actually start the trial for these assault charges that they have, right? They admitted on a podcast to doing trafficking. Podcasters not beating the room temp IQ allegations. Jesus fucking Christ. Are the Tates slimy, disgusting fucks? Yes, but have they committed these crimes? You'd like to see evidence. That's pretty much where I'm at. I think they're disgusting, reprehensible individuals that do nothing but damage to men that they are claiming to mentor. I don't know if any of these, like, charges, right? I don't know if any of these charges are real. I don't know what they've done, so we'll have to see when it comes to trial. I mean, you guys can tell me that they admitted to trafficking. I haven't seen the clip. I haven't seen the clip. I haven't seen them admit to doing things. If they've done that, then yeah, they're fucking room temp IQ. Why would you admit that? Jordan, thank you. The Tate brothers go online and speak on their own crimes. We watched a video earlier from a different creator that basically went through a compilation of what they do. It's not good. Well, then it should be a very easy open and closed case, should it not? And we'll get to reap the rewards of seeing them sent to jail if it's all true, right? We're at the point where you refuse to believe anything until you see evidence and can parse through it yourself. And I think that's a good way to be. Like, I appreciate when people in chat tell me things, but if it's like serious allegations like this, I don't want to believe it until I see proof of it myself. And I think that is a fair position to have. Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas of Bedfordshire Police added, there's no place for male violence. We heard that, and that is a very ironic thing for anyone in the British police to say. It comes as the pair also continue to face separate trafficking and organized crime charges in Romania, stemming from their initial arrest there in December 2022. So some retard in chat just said that they got off scot-free from their Romania charges, but this article says that that's not true. So that retard in chat is just a retard. And that's why I don't believe anything when you guys say one way or another when it comes to serious allegations. I want to verify it myself. This is from 2023. Andrew Tate to face trial on charges of human trafficking, rape, and forming a criminal gang. Once again, according to this article that was released on their current arrest and extradition to the UK, they continue to face the separate charges in Romania. They have not been let off of those charges in Romania. 2 U.S. Forest Service employees who were taken hostage Wednesday near Gumboot Lake in California's Shasta Trinity National Forest have been safely rescued. The FBI's hostage rescue team responded to the scene yesterday, securing the release of both hostages early this morning before the suspects surrendered several hours later. In a statement, U.S. Forest Service Chief Tom Schultz thanked Forest Service law enforcement, the FBI, and Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, and the other first responders that coordinated efforts in bringing the incident to a safe conclusion. Who the fuck kidnaps and takes hostage fucking forest rangers, dude? That's like the last person I would expect anyone to want to take hostage. What is happening? Bigfoot, oh my god.
Look, I was molested. I was molested by a Sasquatch, it's a fact.
I'm grateful beyond words that both of our Forest Service employees are home safe. On July 16th, the two were taken hostage while doing field work on the Shasta Trinity National Forest. By the early morning of July 17th, both were safe. This outcome is a testament to the skill and professionalism of our Forest Service law enforcement officers, FBI, Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, and every first responder who answered the call. Thank you, Tim Schultz. Yeah, everyone's just like, what? Everyone was just as confused as me. U.S. Forest Service employees are freed after 15-hour hostage ordeal. The authorities say a man and his son held 2 employees at gunpoint in a trailer at Shasta Trinity National Forest in Northern California. Fucking what? 2 U.S. Forest Service employees were freed Friday after a man and his son bound the workers and held them at gunpoint for about 15 hours in a national forest in rural Northern California. The 2 employees, who the Forest Service Chief Tom Schultz declined to identify during a news conference Friday, were not injured. But the ordeal in the Shasta Trinity National Forest had shaken the workers and their families. Well, yeah, I'd imagine there's probably some mental scars with being kidnapped, tied up, and held at gunpoint. Both are resting and will need some time to process this experience, said Brian Tosh, the FBI's acting special agent in charge of Sacramento. The 2 men, identified as Joseph Charles Henriksen, 49, and his son Phoenix Henriksen. Phoenix! Phoenix! What was Phoenix from Side Scrollers doing on the day that these men were taken hostage? Were taken into custody early Friday, and said Sheriff Jeremiah LaRue of Siskiyou County their motive was unclear, and the authorities are still investigating the kidnapping. How is the motive unclear? Like, you already got them, right? Like, fucking, have they just not told you? I feel like they'd want to talk about it, right? The men face federal charges of kidnapping government employees, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of California. If they're convicted, they face sentences of life in prison and a $250,000 fine. Just before 11 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday, a Forest Service law enforcement officer called the Siskiyou Sheriff's Office and reported that a man had zip-tied 2 Forest Service employees and was holding them at gunpoint inside a trailer at a campground near Gumboot Lake. The law enforcement officer who called the sheriff said one of the men, the elder Mr. Henriksen, wanted to talk to the FBI. The trailer was in a heavily forested area accessible by a one-lane road in mountainous terrain about 6,000 feet level above sea. I read that autistically, 6,000 feet above sea level. I don't know how my brain did that. Sheriff LaRue said deputies using drones found the trailer around 1 p.m. The authorities began negotiating with Mr. Henriksen around 4:20 blaze it candy ass p.m. on Thursday. He used a victim's phone to make a call saying he had taken 2 hostages, quote unquote, from the Forest Service. According to a news release from federal prosecutors, it was unclear whom he was speaking to on the phone call. Mr. Henriksen also said he had live rounds ready to use against anyone who interfered, according to the release. He eventually released the 2 Forest Service employees at about 1:50 a.m. Friday, Sheriff LaRue said Mr. Henriksen and his son surrendered less than an hour later, adding that Mr. Henriksen said he had an AR-15 rifle, knives, and grenades. What was the point of all this? What, like, I'm glad that apparently the charges would be life in prison and up to like $250,000 in fines if they're convicted, right? I feel like if there's some sort of climate activist, they'll probably just get told to go home and do community service, but I digress. What was the point of it? Like, it's like that bank hostage situation that happened recently, where like they held people hostage for a random amount of time and then they just let everybody go and gave up. It's like, what was the point of even doing anything? Why did you do this? You ruined your life for nothing, you room temp IQ retards.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
It's been an emotional past couple of days, Sheriff LaRue said. The 2 employees had been performing seasonal work as a part of their typical duties before they were taken. Sheriff Michael Johnson of Shasta County said about 30 people from his department had helped rescue the hostages, and that the response had included a SWAT team, snipers, hostage negotiators, bomb experts, and more. Mr. Schultz, the Forest Service chief, said he had alerted Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, whose department oversees the Forest Service, Kash Patel, the FBI director, and White House officials. Oh, that is an abrupt end to that article. I was expecting it to go on further. Let's see what's in this other article here. 2 U.S. Forest Service employees working in a remote area of the Shasta Trinity National Forest were kidnapped, zip-tied, held inside a trailer for more than 17 hours before being released Friday morning. Bizarre hostage crisis unfolded like a scene from a movie. Law enforcement teams from across Northern California and even as far away as Virginia converged Thursday on the trailer at the end of a small one-lane road where a father and son held the workers at gunpoint. According to the FBI Sacramento acting special agent in charge, Brian Tosh. The father, identified as 49-year-old Joseph Charles Henriksen, told authorities he was armed with an automatic rifle and grenades and wanted to talk to the FBI. The atmosphere was tense as crisis negotiations continued until Friday morning when the 2 employees were safely surrendered, and Henriksen and his adult son Phoenix were taken into custody. They both have been charged with kidnapping federal employees, according to Eric Grant, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of California. The workers, deeply rattled but physically unharmed, have been returned to their families, and their names have not been released. I want to say how profoundly grateful and relieved that we are that our 2 employees were released safely. We're staying close to them and their loved ones, making sure they have the support and the space they need after what they've been through. The employees were completing routine field work near the picturesque waters of Gumboot Lake when things took a terrifying turn. At 8 a.m., the Forest Service received word that the 2 employees had been kidnapped. The Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office was notified of the hostage crisis shortly before 11 a.m. and deployed drones to scout the area where the workers were taken. Deputies located the trailer around 1 p.m. and began negotiating with the elder Henriksen for their release around 4 p.m. The Shasta County Sheriff's Office deployed a SWAT team, sniper unit, hostage negotiators, and a bomb unit to the trailer at the Gumboot Lake campsite. The FBI also sent its own crisis negotiators and even flew in an elite hostage rescue team from Quantico, Virginia. Let's see, further assistance, massive local-state collaboration. Authorities did not publicly disclose the kidnapping or hostage situation until Friday afternoon after both employees had been rescued. Crisis situations like this don't often result in everyone leaving the scene safely, Tosh said. We're very proud of the work everyone did today. Authorities are still working to understand the motivation for the kidnapping. LaRue said that Henriksen did not have a history of involvement with his office. He was not known to the FBI? Henriksen has a criminal history that includes arrests in Oregon and California, according to the Sacramento Bee. His son, Phoenix, attended Bellingham High School from 2019 to 2021, according to a LinkedIn page with the same name. In 2022, a man with the same name and age as Henriksen faced charges accusing him of a hate crime against a Whatcom County, Washington neighbor whose landlords were of Russian and Ukrainian descent. That is a rare fucking hate crime charge, bro. That is an incredibly rare hate crime charge. What the fuck? That's crazy. According to the Bellingham Herald, the elder Henriksen was accused of throwing fireworks at the property and leaving homemade handcuffs and an obscene drawing on a note that read, "Assassinate Vlad Putin." What kind of a room temp IQ retard do you have to be to harass a random Russian person by saying assassinate Vladimir Putin? What the fuck am I reading? Oh my god.
Take your meds.
I'll never forget how, like, when the, like, Russian-Ukraine war kicked off, and I had like Russian viewers who were pretty frequent here, and they would sometimes be like, I'm learning English from Kirsche, and I'm like, please don't do that. I speak Bostonian. You're not gonna learn good English from me, Russian brother. But, like, after the war kicked off, they'd come in and, like, just be incredibly fucking apologetic. Like, they would come in and be like, we're so sorry, and we don't want this war to happen either, and we just hope that we're still welcome here. And it's like, bro, you're just like a random Russian citizen. You're fine, dude. Like, nobody's blaming you for this. That's crazy. Remember the Russian YouTube commenters? Yeah, I don't know how many of them, like, are still coming to the channel, but hopefully they're all right. A psychologist determined that Henriksen was not competent to stand trial. We need to stop that shit. Stop it. If you are not competent to stand trial, you should just automatically get the fucking sentence. There is no such thing as, he was too stupid to know the crime was bad, so he must just let him go for free. No consequences, he's too dumb. No! Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
He was admitted to a psychiatric hospital for 45 days, according to court records. Later that year, after months of waiting in jail for a hospital bed, a judge dismissed his case without prejudice, allowing prosecutors to refile once he regained competency, the Bellingham Herald reported. It says he was admitted to a psychiatric hospital for 45 days, but then it says after months of waiting in jail for a hospital bed, a judge just dismissed it? So which one is it? Are they saying that, like, his sentencing was to go to the psychiatric hospital, but because there were no beds, he just sat in jail until the judge said, all right, buddy, go home? Like, what are we fucking doing? The FBI is asking anyone with information on the father and son to call their tip line. I'm gonna be very interested in what these fucking kidnapping freaks have to say for why they kidnapped some forest rangers. Who does that? That's like one of the safest government jobs you could have from people. Not necessarily from animals, but you know.
And this is new tonight. We are hearing the voice of one of the men who is accused of...
I would listen to this guy tell scary stories around the campfire. He's got that gravelly voice for it.
Holding 2 Forest Service employees hostage on Thursday. We're about to play that man's conversation with law enforcement that played out over the law enforcement scanner while he allegedly held those employees against their will. This happened at Gumboot Lake in Siskiyou County. It's in the Shasta Trinity National Forest. Let's go ahead now and listen to that call.
Ready, Chuck? This is Charles Perry speaking. Over. I have 2 biologists in my custody right now. I've tried to make contact with the FBI through the law enforcement agent that is in the ranger station here in Shasta. I'm requesting...
Shasta! They're saying it the same way as me! Fuck you!
Speak to so that I can release these hostages. Over.
Perry, do we have a good phone number?
Oh, Perry the Platypus is involved?
So that they can make contact with you directly?
Negative. Over.
I copy. How would you like for them to make contact with you?
Smoke signals!
In person.
Read and copies. In person.
Ready. We will be listening for the radio. We have it on and can hear it from where we're sitting. Over.
Over.
Russell with FBI Sacramento. Trying to reach whoever's at the campsite. Can you hear me? Over.
You're at the campsite? Is that what you said? Over.
Yes. Is someone out there at the campsite that can hear me? This is Russell. with the FBI.
Is there any life forms out there? I'm trying to reach the aliens.
All right, Agent Russell. Well, what you need to do is you need to try to get yourself in an area where I can hear your voice. There's a red Bronco, red Ram rather, an old model Ram with a camper on it, a Bronco camper. I can hear you. If you talk from there, you'll be safe. Over.
Bro, this guy sounds competent as fuck. What is that judge on?
Just to confirm, do you want to this point?
You're best to send somebody up, unarmed, talk to me from that camper. I can hear you, and then we can go from there and try to make further contact. Over.
Tell me what's your name? Who am I talking with?
Who are you talking with? Come on, guy.
This guy's so competent, he's making fucking jokes during a hostage negotiation. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Now, despite those difficulties there, the hostages were safely released. 49-year-old Joseph Charles Henriksen and his adult son Phoenix were arrested on federal kidnapping charges. Their motive is under investigation.
I hope we find the motive out really fucking soon.